Hello, my friends, my astrology lovers. All right. Seems I haven't been doing too many of these live lately for the very reason I can't do them when I said I was going to do them live. You know how life's been kind of busy. And it is still. It's like, oh my God, it's so crazy. But I'm going to finish up the year with this forecast. And I'll be back Thursday morning, December 30th, live, and we'll do the first week of 2022 then. Okay. But right now we've got a lot going on. So are you ready? I'm going to first up instruct you to go to YouTube because I did have two different videos up now about Venus retrograde conjunct Pluto. And I did a collaboration with my colleague, Sue Coffin. She does numerology. My other colleague, Darlene Chadbourne. Her and I do a yearly thing, but Sue Coffin and I do a thing quarterly, basically. It's just about the Mercury retrogrades, but we also had Venus retrograde. So I did that one early. So it's Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, and all of that. And that is on YouTube as well. So check that out. They'll give you a lot of good content because we do have that happening again. Let me share my screen with you. We do have that happening again. And it's not this one. Here it is right here. Here is the Venus-Pluto conjunction, the second one. The first one was December 11th. And now Venus is retrograde. And here it is conjunct Pluto for a second time. The third time will be March 3rd. And by then, Mars will be in the same area as Venus and Pluto. So on March 3rd, Mars, Venus, and Pluto will be conjunct at 26 Capricorn, 26, 27. I'll give you the exact. See, it's one or the other, either 26, it's 27 degrees of Capricorn. But, you know, Pluto between, you know, this is the end of 25 degrees to 27 is not that far. Excuse me. So we have that going on. Again, you can go check those out. I want to do, here is number 2. This is the second chart I have up. This is what's happening Christmas Eve, right? Christmas Eve day. We're already feeling it. I'm recording this on the 22nd. Blessed you, my friends. Merry Christmas to others. And what we have going on here is this is the third connection between Saturn and Uranus, right? And it is, the tension is just palpable. It's too much. I'm finding it is so difficult. I have a problem with clenching my teeth, and I busted another tooth. I did one in March 2020. I fractured one back here a year or so ago before, and now the one, oh my gosh, it's Saturn. Saturn rules the teeth. It's impacting my chart really very, very, very specific. So that doesn't mean this happens to everybody, but this is how I'm feeling that pressure. Feeling the pressure because I clench. But I'm doing stuff, but still I have to see the dentist, but they can't see me until January. But it's this. Here is what it looks like in this chart. And they're both at 11 degrees in 5 minutes. And, you know, so on my physical, I know how I'm working this here. Others, the rest of us, I mean, this again is that the hard push. 2020 was nothing compared to what we've been going through in 2021, because everything is just things that are, you know, not working. And when there's too much tension, just like clenching or grinding your teeth, things eventually break, and they break. And that's where we're at. We're at this breaking point, especially here in the United States. It's all over the world, but, you know, I live here, so I'll focus on this. You know, February 17th was the first square between Saturn and Uranus, and then June 14th was the second one, while Saturn was retrograde. Now Saturn is direct. Uranus is still retrograde. And that's today. So this is pushing us. Saturn is the old ways, the old rules, the old ways. However, being in the sign of Aquarius, which is Taurus's sign, which is Uranus's sign. Uranus rules Aquarius. So what we have here is this massive fixed tension. And the eclipses coming up next year are all in fixed signs, Taurus and Scorpio. And you can see here, I'll talk about that in a second. The lunar nodes have shifted into that. They just did that today on December 22nd. But back to the Saturn square Uranus. You know, so this is pushing us to shift out of the old ways, to shift away from things that are not working. And we're really having a hard time with that in a lot of areas. Now, again, not everybody is, but look at your own self. What is it that you might be fighting against and not willing to release or let go? What is it that you're doing there? So find that tension in your life, what you need to, you know, really spend some time figuring out how to let go of. Again, I got to figure out why I keep, you know, because there's definitely something that's, you know, creating that tension. So this is control versus freedom, control Saturn, freedom Uranus. There's a battle between that right now. And we're seeing it in the world. We're seeing it in our government. And we can see it in our own lives. We need to start focusing on, you know, a bigger picture. And there'll be more of that to come as Pluto continues to move forward. And it will be, by the time we get to February and March, that's when Pluto will be exactly conjunct the United States Pluto. That's why we're already going through so much. The control thing is big. So boy, whatever we're fighting, it's a big one. So that's what we got going on in that regard. So let me grab the next chart for us. Let's grab that. Here we go. I had to go get it. I hit pause. You might not have noticed. Or maybe you did. Here's the next one. I wanted to talk about the fourth quarter because I usually talk about the new moon, which is the beginning of a new monthly lunar phase, but it's also the beginning of that lunar gestation cycle that I love to talk about. It's a great longer view of the lunar cycle because the monthly cycle is short, right? It's only a month long. However, this one lasts for 3 years. So we have the new moon, first quarter, full moon, and then the last quarter or fourth, whatever you want to call it. They have that last quarter has a few names. So in that each quarter takes 9 months. That's why it's called the lunar gestation phase. So the fourth quarter, December 26th, Sunday, December 26th, is at 5 degrees of Libra. And this is where the moon is coming towards the sun. And it is a waning square. So it's the final period of the gestation of that family that started a long time ago. Let me grab it here. I have it in here. Where is it? There it is. Yes. So it's the moon in Libra, and we have Venus retrograde right now. So this is a real significant coincidence, if you will, two events coinciding. That's what that means. So with Venus retrograde conjunct Pluto, there's some serious things going on in our relations. And with this moon, this last quarter moon in Libra, that speaks to that too. So there is something in our relationships that we're finalizing. Again, if you go listen to the other one, but recap Venus and Pluto conjunction, one of the things in regard to relationship, we'll just focus on that slice of Venus right now because the moon's in Libra, which is relationships. Focus on, the foundation of your relationships. Are they solid? What is it I need to do to tidy things up? There is some sort of finalization over the next 9 months, and it's instigated and initiated, if you will, at this point right here, December 26th. All right. So the other date, so we're going to let go, we're going to release, we're going to just let things just be what they are and move forward with love and kindness. If there is something you need to let go of so your relationship can move forward, or maybe the relationship needs to be let go of, you'll have to decide. And remember, so this is not always just our spouses or domestic partners. These are important relationships, long-term friendships and things like that too. Because sometimes things just have to have an adjustment and you have to figure out how to figure shit out, right? And that's what it really comes down to. I do my best not to swear, but I swear a lot. All right. The new moon associated with this was on September 28th, 2019. Again, that's how long these phases last. So September 28, 2019 was the new moon at 5 Libra. So 5 Libra is going to be somewhere in your chart. So that means that area is Libra. So it's always sensitive to relationships. But these dates, there may have been some highlights. The first quarter was June 28th, 2020. That was at 7 degrees of Libra. And I believe June 2020 was when Venus was retrograde in Gemini. Let me check. I'm almost 100% sure. Because that's just a good memory I have. Yes, Venus was retrograde then as well. So that full moon in June 28th, 2020 at 7 Libra, Venus was also retrograde then. So there would have been something with relationships. A lot of people's relationships changed because we were in lockdown and spent more time with each other than ever before. So there was some realization. And if you've been ignoring that or lazy about not taking action, then, now's going to be the time that you figure this out. But the full moon on March 28th, 2021, that was this year, that was at 8 Libra. So that would have brought something definitely to your attention, to our attention in regard to whatever that situation is that you're following through here. That's why it's really good to journal at the new moons. And then the fourth quarter, which is this chart in front of us. And again, that fourth quarter is tying up lots of loose ends. We're really finalizing things and just tidying up, just like we would, for example, I always use the seasons and growing seasons. We were tidying things up for at the very end of fall. So we have things stocked and stored and stacked for the winter. All right. So you're prepping for, the finalizing. And this starts, we have a new moon every month. So every month there's a lot of different timelines going on. Some are more important than others. All right. The next one, I do miss, did I miss something here? I guess not. Well, you know what? This is also on the 26th, but I didn't title a chart for it. Also on the 26th during the day, something very easy and because what I just said seemed pretty intense actually. And the Saturn Uranus square. I mean, they're not going to separate for a little while, but this is the last time they're coming together. They'll get really close next year in the late fall. They'll get really close to each other again, but this is the last exact square between these two. I know I jumped back to Saturn, but what we also have here is Mercury. Yeah, there it is. Mercury, sextile, Neptune. That's really nice. Mercury in Capricorn can be very, like focused and intense focused and a little rigid, but it is feminine energy. Capricorn, while it's described as, strict in rules, regulations, and such, Capricorn is actually very feminine. So that's a very masculine description of Capricorn. So let's go to a feminine description of Capricorn. Because it is feminine, it's a receptive sign. It's earth. All the earth and water signs are yin, which is feminine, which is receptive. And so it means wisdom, right? So there's a lot of wisdom. You think of the crone, the wisdom that a crone or an elder has and holds. That's what that Capricorn energy is all about. And so when we have Mercury in Capricorn, sextile, Neptune in Pisces, that's also very feminine receptive. This can really help us to use our imagination, some beautiful creative writing, music, really kind of getting really keenly in touch with your intuition. So that's just a nice little bonus. Thank goodness. All right. The next we have is Jupiter ingress into Pisces. Now, this one's fantastic. Jupiter was there earlier in this year, earlier in the middle part of 2021. Let's grab the right book. Got 3 books in front of me. I have 3 ephemeris going at one time, except they're easy to handle, when I just do anyways. So Jupiter entered Pisces. I'm a blabbermouth today. May 13th. And then, of course, it went retrograde and went back out at the end of July. So now it's back in on this day. And, there's many things. There's a multitude of ways that this can play out. So this is going to expand whatever it's connected to. So we can expand our focus on too much water, not enough water, the oceans, fog, gas, focusing on the amount of alcohol people are drinking, or maybe even yourself. But this is also rules the clairs, our clairvoyance, our clairsentient, clairaudient. It rules that as well. So we might have opportunities to engage more in those activities: spirituality, faith, intuition, dreams, the collective. There's all kinds of wonderful ways we can use this. Big focuses we can focus on. However, I'm sorry. Some of the other things that we could focus on too is that, the people are still, once again, trying to pull the wool over our eyes. Neptune is the virus, Pisces, Neptune and Pisces. So here, that new variant is just going like crazy. I'm in New Hampshire and we're like one of the hottest spots right now. I live alone, so I'm cool, but geez Louise. So it could be that we're going to very well see that, that increase. We know it's increasing. It's doubling. At least that's what they're telling us. Believe what you will. I won't debate you. Okay. Jupiter is going to stay in Pisces until May 11th when it enters Aries. So with this ingress, focus on the things that feel good to you and make sense to you and what it is that you want. All right. I have a link I'd like to share with you. Let me see if I can go find it. I love listening to Lee Harris. Lee Harris is just such, his stuff's amazing. And I'm going to share this with you. It's a charity for cleanwater.org. And I just want to share it with you. So I'm going to post this on my Facebook as well. But I would just share that with you now. Here we are. If you're interested, I'm going to kind of push this. Lee Harris just had it, on his website. So I'm just going to push it. And this is something that is really important because, we need clean water. I did some research when I was working on the lecture I did back in the spring for Boston NCGR and a Chicago astrology group. And it was Jupiter and Pisces. And I did a lot of research on water and clean water. And it's absolutely devastating how many people don't have clean water. So I'm going to do a new share now. Let's go back to here. And then we'll go back to our charts. So if you're inclined, they would love it. It would be helpful. If you're not, that's fine too. The next event is Mars sextile Saturn. When Mars and Saturn come together, especially they're the two malefics, so they can be a bit troublesome, but a sextile means they're in the same polarity, meaning that they have something in common. All right. And that polarity is yang. So here's Saturn sextile Mars, Mars sextile Saturn. 11 degrees of Sag to 11 Aquarius. So that means that we have an opportunity here to take some action somewhere. This is Wednesday, December 29th. There is some opportunities for us to move and take action if we've been feeling if we've been feeling like we can't get anything done. Simultaneously, Mars and Uranus are in a quincunx, so that represents major adjustments. So if we have something that needs an adjustment or a shift, as described in the Saturn-Uranus square, just you can play this back, is this Mars coming in and then connecting with Uranus first through the quincunx. That happens a day or two before. Let's see. When is that? Mars, quincunx, Uranus. Yeah, that's on December 28th. And then on the 29th is when it makes its sextile to Saturn. So this means problem solving. This means we have opportunity for something to change. And the moon at this point is in Scorpio, and that is deep research. So you have an opportunity to find some solution to something that you've been wanting to work on. All right. And then the final is that we'll just leave you with this. Here's Mercury, again, connecting with Pluto. Remember, this can be some deep and serious and important conversations. However, it can also represent what I mentioned earlier, is that deeper wisdom, the deeper wisdom that we get with that Capricorn energy. And they are making a sextile. The moon on this day is making a sextile to the Capricorn planets. And this moon, I do believe, is in that balsamic phase. It looks like it's close. No, it's in the third quarter, not quite balsamic yet. But again, it's about digging in, doing that research, but then also taking the wisdom of who you are and really pulling that content into whatever it is you need in life. You know, we're getting ready for New Year's Eve. I'll tell you this now. I think I mentioned it. I don't know where I mentioned it, but I've mentioned it in a couple of interviews I've done. Yeah, let's just finish up this. I hadn't intended to do this, but I will. You know what? Let's finish up the year, because on January 1st, New Year's Eve, right? December 31st. We always do like letting go and releasing everything for the year. And we're in the balsamic lunar phase then. So it's like, yeah, that's a go, do it. And we also have, and then on January 1st, you know, we want to set new intentions and goals, because we do this for the calendar year every year. And it rarely coincides with the astrological content, but it almost does this year, because we have a new moon on Sunday, January 2nd. It's not until 1:33 in the afternoon. However, that is when I would tell you and me to do new moon intentions, obviously, but let me go grab that chart. If we were to, here it is, new moon in Capricorn. There we are. There's the new moon in Capricorn. If you want to do things like, what are they called? Vision boards. Wait until after Sunday afternoon. Sunday afternoon, 3:33 in the afternoon, and this is Eastern Standard Time. Figure out what time that is for you. Just say, what's the current time in Boston? And then you can see what time it is where you are at. And then you know there's what the difference is. So do that for yourself. Set your groups, get your groups together, have some fun. Mercury's just entered Aquarius on January 2nd. And, you know, even this weekend or the one after this, you know, get together with your groups and do those workshops, those vision boards. Great time to do it. Again, Sunday afternoon, January 2nd. And if you have to wait for a weekend, well, then just go to January 8th or 9th. All right. I think I'll leave us with that. Merry Christmas, everybody. We've already celebrated Yule here. Merry Christmas to the rest of you. And yeah, stay safe. Blessings. And oh my God, thank you. You guys, I'm amazed. You know, it's been a rough year with a lot of different things going on, but it's also been very blessed with all of you and just everything else that's just, you know, makes my world wonderful. And this is part of it. Thank you guys, and blessings and namaste.